We start this midday with breaking news. 2 people are dead, 2 others in the hospital after a shooting at a home in Shoreview. We've learned about this just within the last hour or so. This apparently is on Grotto Street North in Shoreview. We don't have a lot more details right now, but we do have several crews headed to the scene. Our Joe Mason is headed to the scene there. Joe, can you hear me? Do we have you on the phone?
I can hear you, Jessica.
Okay, Joe, I'm not sure if you're there yet or not. What can you give me here?
Yeah, we arrived on the scene about 15 minutes ago. The area of Doris Avenue and Grotto Street is cordoned off with yellow police tape. Authorities are telling us at this point there are 4 victims. 2 people have been killed. 2 others have been sent to the hospital. This happened inside a home on Grotto Street in the 5900 block of Grotto. There are several police officers here from the Ramsey County Sheriff's Department, Lionel Lakes, and View Police Department. You can see from where we're standing right now. Neighbors said they heard some type of commotion this morning, some type of yelling and screaming. They did not hear any gunshots, the neighbors we have spoke to, but they, a short time after that commotion, then police started arriving, they said, in droves. Again, we have 4 people, victims here. 2 people have been killed, 2 others shot, sent to the hospital, and police want to make sure they get the word out that there are no threats to the community. This may be, and we stress the word may be, a domestic incident, they said, but there are no threats to the community at this point.
Okay, and Joe, I would imagine it's way too early to have any idea if we know who exactly is involved here, if it's adults, if it's children.
We do not know at this point. They would not reveal the ages. I just was able to talk to one of the police lieutenants on the scene here who gave me that information, but they're very busy right now processing the scene. They're surrounded the home with, like I said, with the yellow police tape. We see a bunch of officers going in and outside the home as we speak. So they're very busy right now, but they wanted to make sure they got the word out there's no threat to the community.
Real quick, Joe, if I can, give me a sense of that community. You know, a suburb, Shoreview, a suburb there. Is it a pretty, you know, lots of homes, lots of people out and about this morning, or not so much?
Yeah, it's your typical suburban community. Nice little homes, well-kept homes, grass cut, American flag hanging from homes, nice little tree-lined, very quiet area. Neighbors, of course, as most of the time when we go to these things, they're very surprised and shocked that this happened. They thought when they heard that commotion, they didn't think that much of it, but then the next thing they saw 6, 7, 8 squad cars arriving. They knew something was wrong, but it's a very quiet neighborhood until this morning.
All right, that's our Joe Mason, who is in Shoreview right now. We're giving you a live look where we have confirmed 2 people are dead and 2 others in the hospital after something happened at a Shoreview home there this morning. This is on Grotto Street North near Doris Avenue. We're going to get back to Joe in this newscast. We also do have Chopper 5 headed that way, and we will get live pictures from Chopper 5 as well, we're hoping, within this newscast as soon as Chopper 5 gets over that scene there. But again, as Joe mentioned, there is no need for the community there, the residents, the neighborhood, to be concerned. We're going to stay on this and bring you more news throughout this newscast. Well, a brand new outlet mall will bring thousands of new jobs to the metro. Construction kicks off today on the shopping center, Twin Cities at Eagan. 5 Eyewitness News reporter Catherine Johnson joins us live there as the retailers are announced today. This is exciting, Catherine.
Jessica, I know both you and I are very excited about this. Although right now it's just a big pile of dirt behind me, it will soon become the home of some of the world's most famous luxury brands and stores, including a Saks Fifth Avenue outlet and a Coach outlet. All of these items being sold at these stores offered at a discount. Now, just minutes ago, we watched Paragon Outlets break ground on the Twin Cities at Eagan, the new high-end outlet mall, bringing 100 new retail spaces to an area where businesses have been struggling for more than 15 years now. More than 80 stores have already committed to the space, slating to open in August 2014. Now, not only will the project help breathe new life into the struggling area off of Highway 13 and Cedar here in Eagan, but between the construction workers and retail employees, the project will create an estimated 2,000 new jobs in the community.
It's been a long time trying to revitalize and re-energize this area, and that's really a lot of what this outlet mall is going to do.
Location is strategic. You know, it's great highway network, great accessibility. You'll drive from the entire region to a project like this. Certainly the local community will benefit as well as the region.
Now, 35 acres of dirt behind me right now. But get this, the city of Eagan is already experiencing a boom just from this project. At tonight's city council meeting, the city council members will hear bids on certain projects in this area for the future, including more retail space and even some residential building projects. Live in Eagan, Catherine Johnson, 5 Eyewitness News.
All right, Catherine, thanks. New overnight, an Edina family is without their home after a late night fire. 9 departments, 80 firefighters showed up at Kenny Place, that's near West 66th Street. Roof collapsed to this home, and there's more than $500,000 in damage, we're told. Also making that fight difficult was the house's location. It's in a cul-de-sac. However, the fire chief was proud with the way his firefighters handled it.
We had a huge amount of fire, and in a very short time, the fire was knocked down. I was surprised, talking to the other chief officers, we're all quite surprised on how quickly the crews were able to coordinate the attack and knock the fire out.
The fire chief believes this fire could have been restricted to the garage and caused minimal damage if the family had built-in sprinkler systems in that house. A 3-year-old boy has critical burns to more than half his body while his siblings played with matches and lighter fluid. This all happened Monday afternoon in Millville, that's in Wabasha County. Police say the kids were spraying charcoal lighter fluid into a tin lunchbox and lighting it near the front porch of the home. Well, one kid stomped on the box that splashed the fluid onto that 3-year-old boy. The boy's mom came outside, burned her hands trying to put the flames out on him. Both of them were taken to the hospital. A busy morning in Washington. Senators grilled military leaders after cases of commanders accused of sexually assaulting women in their ranks became public.
Only the chain of command can establish a zero-tolerance policy for sexual offenses.
Some senators want a bill removing commanders from the process of deciding whether serious crimes like sexual assault go to trial. Chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, General Martin Dempsey, insists commanders should keep their authority to handle assault cases. A Pentagon report shows as many as 26,000 military members may have been sexually assaulted last year alone. Turning now to the IRS scandal, and leaders of Tea Party groups were front and center this morning to say the agency willfully scrutinized them.
This was not an accident. This is a willful act of intimidation to discourage a point of view.
Becky Garrettson from a Tea Party group in Alabama says they filled out all the right forms for tax-exempt status but faced unnecessary delays from the IRS. She testified at a House committee hearing. She's worried what happened to her group is an example of government abusing its power.
I want to protect and preserve the America that I grew up in. The America that people cross oceans and risk their lives to become a part of. And I'm terrified it is slipping away. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
The acting IRS commissioner says it will hold accountable the agency members who acted inappropriately. President Obama announced the 3 judges he wants for a federal appeals court in Washington, but he did more than just that.
When a Republican was president, 11 judges on the D.C. Circuit Court made complete sense. Now that a Democrat is president, it apparently doesn't. 8 is suddenly enough.
He used his speech today to voice his frustration with the slow pace of Senate confirmations of his judicial nominees. He called on Republicans to stop it, but said Democrats aren't completely free of blame either. He said delayed votes on his prior nominees were political. Looking around the world now, a close American ally is in a state of turmoil. Anti-government protests in Turkey are now in their 5th day. They are the largest and most violent demonstrations there in years. And as ABC's Alex Marquardt reports, a long fight could be on the horizon.
This is a moment said to have helped spark it all. Turkish police pepper spraying a young woman at point-blank range. What had been a small protest about a park exploded. Years of pent-up anger at Turkey's leader now unleashed. These protesters are pulling up concrete blocks and slabs to create this barricade here to block the police. It's clear that after several days of these massive protests, neither side is backing down. These are some of the biggest protests this country has seen in decades. Unimaginable just weeks ago. Many of the protesters here say the prime minister is becoming a dictator and want him to step down. And as you can see here, the protesters are digging in for a long fight. The anger is aimed at this man, Prime Minister Recep Tayyip Erdogan. They say he has clamped down on their freedom of speech, has restricted alcohol sales, and is pushing a strict brand of Islam. But for the U.S., he has been a reliable and key ally. He supports the U.S. in bringing down the Assad regime in Syria and funnels American aid to the rebels. He also plays a big role in the Israeli-Palestinian peace process. The U.S. says it's concerned by the use of excessive force against the protesters and is encouraging restraint. It's too early to say whether the Arab Spring has now spread to Turkey. But what is clear is that yet another of America's closest friends in the region is under fire. Alex Marquardt, ABC News, Istanbul.
A 22-year-old man died during an anti-government protest, and there are conflicting reports on his death. A human rights group says 33 people have been detained, but most are no longer in custody. A high school wouldn't let a student go to prom because of what she wore. Her parents say it was an attack on her body.
A girl like Brittany should not have to go to a dance in a burlap sack because she's large busted. It's ridiculous.
What she wore that the school didn't like. And misery in the Midwest, the massive flooding that has forced people out of their homes for days.
Yeah, flooding in areas that were in a major drought just months ago. We are seeing more of the same. Clouds and some showers leading to a little bit of a soggy Tuesday. We'll have your forecast coming up.
And we want to take you back out live to this deadly shooting scene in Shoreview. 2 people are dead, 2 are in the hospital. We're going to have a live report from Joe Mason on this breaking news just as soon as we come back. Stay with us. We are following breaking news on that deadly shooting in Shoreview. There's a news conference going on now. Let's listen in.
Custody at this time.
Notice a moving truck in boxes in front of what I believe to be the house. That's interesting.
It is apparently from initial reports. It appears like one of the parties was moving out of the home at the time, and hence why the moving truck is there.
Shooting inside or outside the house?
The shooting was inside of the house. Inside the house.
Was there a romantic relationship involved in this? I know you said there was a.
There's, I believe that there from what it appears, there appears to be a family ties amongst the victims and of the shooting.
Can you say if it was a murder-suicide investigation right now, or is that something you're looking into?
We're looking into that, trying to figure out why this shooting occurred and what all went on. Anything that at this point would just sort of be speculating what's going on. Several different theories have been pushed, amongst the investigators right now. So,
any troubles at that house in the past that were
not that were initially reported to us. I didn't have time to run reports on it on my way up here today. So,
gotta ask, and I know there's no way you can know this yet, and I apologize for even asking it, but do you know if there's any kind of restraining order against one to the other?
I don't know of any this time. Haven't had time to look into that. Caliber of the gun? I don't know. I know it was a handgun.
Neighbors say that they both lived there for a while, not married. She was moving out.
Oh, okay.
Any confirmation of that? That they were both residents of that address?
It appears as if they were both residents of the address from photos on the walls and things like that.
And she was moving out?
That's what we've, we're trying to determine that right now, and I don't have a confirmation on that is in terms of, we're trying to figure that one out.
And then what are the approximate ages of the victims?
I don't have that at this time. I know that they are all adults, and that's about the extent of what I've been able to find out from them. I'll be getting those ages here in a bit.
And then the nature of the injuries, the 2 regions, how badly are they hurt?
They're I don't have an initial report. I know that we had an abdomen wound and a leg wound, and I don't know how serious those injuries are. Anytime that you've got a gunshot wound, it can be serious. So.
And the neighbors say the male shot himself.
That the neighbors are saying that? The word going around that might be what's going on.
He took his own life, that this was a murder-suicide, but you can't confirm
I can't confirm that because we're trying to investigate that right now. At this point, it appears like there are certain factors that are going on, but I don't have a confirmation until the investigation, which is, it's only been going on for about an hour we've been investigating for an hour. And so we have a lot of questions that we have to get answered.
Just a procedural matter, Randy. At some point, and she's going to need some sound because she was a little
Yep.
They were very nervous when I was on the far side of the lines. At some point in time during early afternoon even, I would love to hit that spot. Hit that spot. We have reasons that we need to do that.
Sure.
I don't want to upset investigators or officers, but at some point in time, I just hope you can facilitate without us crossing the crime scene, being able to come in.
To be able to come in from those sides?
Yes.
I'll do that. I'll talk to them about that so that you can get that.
I'm sorry, I missed the very basics of the number of injuries. Any fatalities?
We have, at approximately 10 o'clock this morning, we responded to a report of shots fired in 5900 block of Grotto. And upon arrival, we had 4 victims, two adult males, 2 adult females. We had 2 that were deceased on arrival, a male and a female, and we have a male and a female taken to the hospital for treatment of their injuries. It appears to be a family relationship or some sort of relationship amongst all of the parties involved. Exactly what they are, we don't know at this time. We have recovered the weapon, and we don't believe that there's any threat to any of the neighbors in this residential area.
On what basis do you know that there's a family relationship?
That's kind of what the initial investigation appears to be saying, and that's what the.
You're not certain.
We're trying to determine exactly what that relationship is at this time.
Were any children present?
No children were present in the house at the time.
Were there drugs or alcohol involved?
Not that we've determined that we're still investigating all of that right now.
I have a question. And how were you apprised of this?
We got a call to the call center to 911 of reports of shots fired. Either a neighbor or it was a female caller. It may have been one of the victims. That's the other part of speculation right now we're trying to determine.
And all the injuries were gunshots, right?
Were gunshot wounds. Once that we've got them, we will be doing that, yeah. Once that we can confirm and can notify next of kin and all of make those notifications done.
Is the person who's thought to be the aggressor, is he one of the deceased?
We're investigating that right now. All right. Any other questions? I'll be doing another update. We'll send out a news release on this. I've got a guy working back at the office to send it out through our Gov delivery so that we can kind of.
All right, you're just listening there to Randy Gustafson, who was with the Ramsey County Sheriff's Office. And here's what we know. There was a shooting just before 10 o'clock this morning at a home in Shoreview. That brown home that you're looking at right now. We know 2 people are dead, a male and a female. 2 others injured. We're taken to Regents Hospital with what we believe are a leg wound and an abdomen wound, although Sheriff's Office officials there are not sure how serious those injuries are. We do have our chopper pilot, Ken Melchior, up above that scene. And Ken, I know this is in the area of Grotto Street and Doris Avenue, so can you just kind of give us an indication looking high from above there? I would imagine roads are closed off.
The incident occurred just south of County Road J on Grotto, and police have Grotto cordoned off right now. This is a relatively quiet residential area surrounded by lakes and parks, and mostly homes, not very much industrial anywhere around, all residential. But County Road J is open to the public right now, but it is closed at Grotto, as you can see from pictures from Chopper 5. There are several police cars right now here conducting the investigation. Back to you.
All right, that's Ken Melchior, a Chopper pilot in Chopper 5 over above. We do know there was a moving truck outside there as well. Sheriff's officials saying somebody was apparently moving out of that home. It appears all of these victims somehow knew each other. There's going to be a lot more details to come, so we'll stay on this throughout this next 45 minutes or so on this newscast, and of course throughout the day. Want to shift gears a little bit here though, because we want to get to that weather, and I've seen people walking in the newsroom today with the umbrellas, shaking off the umbrellas.
Yes, and disdain for anybody in the weather department walking into that same group of people. Yeah. We're looking at another cloudy day, and some light rain has been falling in some areas. It hasn't been a soaker just yet, but certainly cloudy. Let's get right to live radar, and it looks pretty ominous, but right now it's been mainly light, and it looks like it's going to pick up just a bit as we go through the late morning now and the early afternoon. It looks like one wave of rain is going to move through, then maybe a little bit of a break, but some steady rain right now north of Blaine up towards Ramsey, Zimmerman, down through Buffalo and Annandale. It has not moved into the Twin Cities yet, but this is slowly shifting to the east. Farther to the south, more steady rain south of New Ulm near Blue Earth and Wells and Albert Lee. And then as we head up to the north, we've got showers into Duluth, down through Cambridge and Hinckley. But again, nothing too terribly heavy just yet. So here's what's new. It looks like abundant cloud cover for the next 3 days. Rain totals between today and tomorrow, maybe a quarter in some select areas, 3/4 of an inch. And as for the weekend, it'll be a little bit warmer, but the weather pattern does remain active, especially later Saturday into Sunday. Right now, you can see in the rain-cooled air, we're only in the low to mid-50s here on this June 4th. But low 60s right now, and we're probably not going to get much warmer than this, given that rain will be occurring soon, and that will help cool numbers down a bit. 59 in Owatonna, 54 degrees in Brainerd. Here is a look at the satellite view. Certainly a lot of cloud cover. A very slow-moving area of low pressure is going to prolong the cloud cover. Notice that we do have rain showers moving through around midday, possibly a little bit of a break this evening, and then we got to continue with scattered showers tonight, and then again redeveloping tomorrow as the cloud cover lingers for another day with a few showers in the afternoon. So your forecast for today, these numbers will be touched briefly and then will probably fall into the upper 50s by the time that the rain begins, and then low 60s as we head towards 5 or 6. 60s for Wednesday and Thursday, brighter weather on Friday. Temperatures returning to 70.
Whoa,
oh, hey,
70, 71. We'll take it.
Calm down.
We will take it.
All right.
Thank you, Patrick. I want to give you another live look before we head to break here of that deadly shooting scene. This is in Shoreview. We know 2 people are dead, a male and female, 2 others injured, now at Regions Hospital. The shooting happened just before 10 o'clock in this home, this brown home that you're seeing at right now. We're going to have a live report coming up. Stay with us. We are following breaking news this midday. 2 people are dead, 2 others in the hospital after a shooting at a home in Shoreview this morning. This happened on Grotto Street North. Our Joe Mason is live on the ground there, and we just listened in as Ramsey County officials were telling us kind of what happened, Joe.
Jessica, police say several shots were fired inside a home here in the 5900 block of Grotto. You could take a look right now. Police are still here on the scene conducting their investigation. This all happened just before around 10 o'clock. That's when deputies got a 911 call for shots fired. When they arrived at the home, they found 4 victims inside. A man and a woman, both were shot and killed. Another man and woman were shot and taken to Regions Hospital. They suffered stomach and leg injuries. They are all adults, and police say all the victims know each other. They have some type of family relationship. They call this an isolated incident. They are not looking for anyone at this point, and there is no threat to the community. Now, police say there were movers inside the home at the time of the shooting. Someone was moving out of the home. They're investigating it as a possible murder-suicide. Again, several shots were fired inside that home. A handgun was recovered. 4 victims, 2 people shot and killed, a man and woman. 2 other victims, a man and woman, taken to Regions Hospital with a stomach and leg injuries. That's what we know at this point. Again, they arrived here at the scene around 10 o'clock this morning. That's when they first got the call. We've spoken to some neighbors around here. They said that it's a quiet home. They haven't had any problems there. A man and woman lived in that home, a boyfriend, girlfriend. Again, this looks like it appears to be a domestic situation. They all know each other. The victims are known to each other. Police say Turtle Creek Elementary, a nearby school here, went on lockdown shortly after they got the 911 call, but that lockdown has now been lifted. Again, no threat to the public. Police want to make sure that gets out there. A tragedy here on Grotto Street this morning. Jessica?
All right, Joe Mason live in Shoreview reporting on that breaking news for us. Deadly shooting there in Shoreview this morning. Thanks, Joe. Switching gears a little bit here, a brand new outlet mall will bring thousands of new jobs to the metro. Construction kicks off today on the shopping center Twin Cities at Eagan. And 5 Eyewitness News reporter Catherine Johnson joining us there live with the retailers that were announced today. Catherine.
Jessica, I know you'll be excited to hear some of the name brand stores that are coming to these 35 acres of dirt right now. In just 14 months, they'll be filled with high-end retail spaces all inside of an outlet mall. Lots of confidence this morning as Paragon Outlets broke ground on the new Twin Cities at Eagan Outlet Center. The retail space boasts enough room for 100 luxury outlets, including Saks Fifth Avenue's Off Fifth and Coach. The goal is to make Eagan a destination, much like Bloomington is for the Mall of America. And as far as shopping competition goes, those working on the new project aren't worried, adding the Twin Cities at Eagan will offer yet another destination for shoppers, in addition to the MOA and the outlets at Albertville.
I think it'll put Eagan on a map in a different way than it has been before, really making Eagan more of a destination than it's been before, not just to folks here in the region, but again, folks nationally.
It's a strategic location. It'll be easy to get to from all over the region, and it's going to be an awesome center.
And 80 stores have already committed to the space, including J. Crew, Banana Republic, and Calvin Klein, in addition to Coach and Saks Fifth Avenue, like I mentioned before. Jessica?
All right, sounds fun. Thanks, Catherine. Catherine is live in Eagan there. Well, the fight over whether to allow drones in Minnesota skies comes to Hennepin County today. Activists will hold a rally in about an hour before presenting, I should say, county leaders with a petition. And hundreds of people have signed that petition. They want to ban law enforcement from using drones. It comes as Minnesota has applied to be one of the first drone test sites in the nation. 5 Eyewitness News reporter Mark Albert investigated this heated debate.
There's all kinds of cameras on every corner, and we don't want to see any more cameras in the skies.
21-year-old college student Sam Richards started a petition online at change.org that calls on Hennepin County to ban the use of aerial surveillance technology, particularly unmanned aerial vehicles, UAVs, by any law enforcement agency.
What are you most worried about?
Since 9/11 and the decade that followed that with the War on Terror, we've constantly seen our liberties getting whittled down. So I would like to start rallying people together and putting a stop to our rights being taken away.
Activists will rally at the Hennepin County Government Plaza Tuesday and then present their petition to county commissioners.
I'm studying the issue more than I have before.
The chairman of the Hennepin County Board of Commissioners, Mike Opat, says he has asked the county attorney's office for legal guidance on the drone issue and plans to be there Tuesday when petition supporters address the board.
I think there are a lot of very interesting and sometimes troubling questions about this, about the technology and about who might use them and for what. So, it'll be interesting to hear what they have to say.
There is a legitimate law enforcement use for unmanned aerial vehicles.
Just like helicopters and light planes now, Hennepin County Sheriff Rich Stanek thinks UAVs will soon be a valuable tool.
I think it's inevitable at some point in the future, although maybe not today. Our job is to use technology to our advantage while at the same time, again, protecting civil rights and privacy of our individual citizens.
State Senator Sean Nenow, a Republican from Cambridge, did sponsor a bill in the legislature this year that would limit law enforcement uses of drones. But when lawmakers adjourned without acting on the bill, Sam Richards started his petition. It does not oppose drone use by transportation planners, farmers, and others outside of law enforcement. Again, that rally starts at 12:30. It's at the Hennepin County Government Center Plaza. The county board meeting then begins at 1:30. To see extensive coverage of drones and to take a poll on the use of drones in our state, Go to our website at kstp.com and find the quick link right there. Well, this morning, another death is blamed on the tornadoes and flooding in Oklahoma. The Oklahoma Medical Examiner's Office says 14 people have died now as a result of the powerful storms that swept through the Oklahoma City area late on Friday. The previous death toll had been 13. Among those killed were storm chasers Tim Samaras and his son Paul and their colleague Carl Young. The 3 men were killed in this EF3 tornado that struck El Reno, Oklahoma. A divided Supreme Court ruled that police can take DNA samples from people they arrest. In a 5-4 decision, the justices concluded DNA swabbing is just like fingerprinting a suspect and does not violate the 4th Amendment that protects against unreasonable search and seizure. Now, the ruling stems from a Maryland case where a man was convicted of rape based on a DNA sample taken during an arrest of an unrelated assault charge. But the American Civil Liberties Union says the ruling creates what they call a gaping new exception to the 4th Amendment. Justice Antonin Scalia, who ruled against it, warned this means your DNA can be taken if you are arrested rightly or wrongly and for any reason. A huge show of support for the family of missing Eden Prairie woman Mandy Matula. 2,400 people showed up for a fundraiser for her last night. It was held at Brunswick Bowl in Eden Prairie, and that's where she used to work. The 24-year-old disappeared back on May 1st after an argument with her former boyfriend, David Rowe. Mandy's family admits they may not get her back, but it doesn't mean she is gone for good.
Yeah, and I probably won't have a sister anymore, but I know she'll always be there with me through work, through my future family, my career, wherever I am. She's always going to be with me, and I'll always be thinking about her.
The family will use that money to help pay and organize future searches for Mandy. Well, grieving families often talk of starting organizations to honor missing loved ones, but it turns out many of these organizations just don't last. Carol Watson helped start Missing Children Minnesota 30 years ago and says it's because some organizations simply run out of money or energy.
People, start an organization with great heart and great intentions, but don't have the skills, the funding, the information to really do something meaningful with the organization.
Psychologists say starting organizations can both help and hinder the grieving process. They say it's important to think about what you can handle in a tough time. Turning possibilities into realities, that is the idea behind the new University of Minnesota Medical Device Center. The U has been a leader in the medical device industry, and this new facility in the Mayo building on campus is one of a kind.
Yeah, our philosophy here is have everything here. You just walk down the hall, grab it, and use it. Doug and Chris?
You can check out the new 8,000 square foot center during an open house today. It's from noon until 5 p.m. Children's Hospital in Minneapolis now joins a select few. It's now one of only 5 hospitals certified as a level 1 trauma center in the 7-county metro area. That designation comes from the American College of Surgeons and the State Health Department. It recognizes the hospital's level of expertise in treating kids with critical injuries. Children says doctors at its Minneapolis campus treat nearly 40% of pediatric trauma cases in the metro. Well, some wading pools in Minneapolis are getting a late start because of our longer than normal winter. A spokesperson for the city's Parks and Rec department says the frozen ground made it difficult to fix those pipes and the pumps that are underground at some of the wading pools. After such a dreary winter and a long winter, kids and parents say they are ready to jump in.
With 3 little kids, it's definitely time for summer, and I want to enjoy every day possible that we can with the nice weather.
Minneapolis has 65 public pools. The majority of them opened over the past weekend. Might be a little chilly, though, again today. We want to update you on our breaking news. This is a live picture from Chopper 5, which is over a house in Shoreview. And officials are telling us 2 people were killed in a shooting there this morning, 2 others injured, those 2 at the hospital right now. Police say there is no threat to the public right now. We are working the story and we'll bring you more news as we get it. We continue to follow breaking news in Shoreview this morning. We know 2 people are dead, 2 others in the hospital after a shooting at a home there. This is a live look from the scene. Police have recovered the gun and say there is no danger to the public. The 4 people shot were all adults, and we're told they all know each other, although we don't know how as of yet. If there are any more updates during this newscast, we will certainly pass those along your way. People in Iowa are waiting for floodwaters to leave their homes before they can go back inside.
You don't know all the time what is happening there. That's almost worse than knowing what is happening.
The Iowa River in Iowa City should crest tonight at 25 feet. That's the third highest it's ever been. More rain is expected this week, but not as heavy as what they got last week. Now, with all the water, some people might be out of their homes there, we're told, until mid-June.
Everybody gets together and helps each other. You help your neighbor, help your friends. So if everybody helps everybody out, you know, this would be a great world.
Farther south, volunteers worked together and piled up sandbags to stop the Mississippi River there, but it wasn't enough. The 500 people who live in West Alton, Missouri, just north of St. Louis, were told to evacuate last night. Water was overflowing those sandbags there. Boy, they just had a lot. They just had so much weather in them.
I know. It's been crazy there. In that area, we had a huge drought going on up and down the Mississippi River not long ago.
And boy, this in the form of rain and storms.
The spigot was turned on from Mother Nature earlier, actually in the latter part of winter, and things have really changed. Wow, hasn't changed a lot around here recently. Just when you're teased with a little bit of sun like we were yesterday, at least in the morning and the day before, come on. The clouds have been our friend this season. Let's bring them back on in, right? Yeah, cloudy skies out there and some scattered light rain showers primarily right now. It has not been too terribly heavy, and cloud cover has limited really anything in the form of thunderstorms today. We do have some steadier rain up towards Becker and heading into the Ramsey area. Buffalo getting a little bit of rain north of Forest Lake. Zimmerman and Princeton, Cambridge, but notice the Twin Cities is primarily dry right now. And, you know, we'll watch more of these rain showers approach Mankato and New Ulm, but it is not looking terribly heavy. Light rain continues all the way up towards Duluth with dry weather in far northern Minnesota. Where you're getting rain showers, it's cool. Temperatures only in the 50s on this June 4th. 63 in Minneapolis, 62 in St. Paul. We're not going to warm up a whole bunch today. May remain in the 50s here in central Minnesota as the rain persists. 63 in the Twin Cities, but once it starts raining, that temperature will drop a little bit. And the forecast looks like this. We'll go with the chance of some showers through the early afternoon. It'll let up just a bit, and then kind of come back at us this evening. This weather system, like so many we've been dealing with recently, is a slow mover. In fact, it's going to be moving through slowly tomorrow. So we got to keep clouds in the forecast for tomorrow and then possibly into Thursday. There are some of the showers that could occur overnight tonight. And then again, a break tomorrow morning, and then more scattered showers and maybe a few thunderstorms tomorrow early afternoon. So the temperatures are tricky today because we're at 63 now. We probably could hit 65, but when it starts to raining, that number is going to drop a bit like it has in western Minnesota already. Southeast winds 5 to 10. So we'll go with scattered showers. We're calling it periods of rain, but right now it looks pretty light. For tonight, scattered showers, an isolated thunder shower, and your 7-day forecast. Yeah, for many kids, this is a week where you're getting out of school and diving into summer, and you're diving into 60s. Might be you know, a stretch to reach 70 by Friday. It warms up a bit for the weekend, and I will say next week is starting to look more promising if you like 80s and a bit more sun. That could be occurring by the middle of next week.
Here's the silver lining. Remember how hard it was to sit in class when you know it's like 80 and 90 degrees outside? Mm-hmm. So there you go.
But maybe if they get out today, tomorrow they'll be outside going, oh, to be back in school.
Probably not.
No.
All right, I know a lot of them get done this week. Right. Yeah. Thanks, Patrick. High school student says she was turned away from her prom because of her body and what she was wearing.
An important night in my life was ruined, and there's no way I can gain that experience back.
Brittany Minder from Washington State wore this dress. According to the school's dress code, strapless dresses are allowed, provided cleavage, midriff, and lower back are covered. Her parents have no problem with the rule, but say their daughter was singled out for having a large chest.
All women are not created equal, and you cannot, compare a golf ball to a grapefruit. It ain't gonna happen.
Her parents want the school to apologize. Well, Cirque du Soleil returns to Mall of America. We're going to tell you about that performance that's coming this fall. Stay with us. Cirque du Soleil fans, a new show is coming to the Mall of America this fall. The show, titled I'm a Luna, will play under the blue and yellow big top there. It debuted in Montreal last year. The storyline takes the audience to a mythical island guided by the cycles of the moon. Nearly 50 artists from 15 different countries perform. It will open September 26th. Tickets go on sale this Friday. We've got details on our website at kstp.com. All right, let's check in to see what's coming up today on Twin Cities Live. Chris Eggert is joining us. I always love those Cirque du Soleil shows. So cool.
You know what, Jess? They are great and they're amazing, but the one time that my wife and I went one, I actually fell asleep in the front row.
How could you? You must have been working a morning show and been sleep deprived or something.
It was something like that. No offense, though, Cirque du Soleil. Okay. Well, coming up today on Twin Cities Live, though most women have between 6 and 10 handbags, sometimes a lot more, not all of these handbags are created equal, but you don't have to spend a ton to get a good one either. Today we'll show you when to splurge and when to get a bargain instead. Plus, products that make traveling with kids a little easier, including a travel bassinet that holds all your baby gear too. That's coming up today at 3 o'clock on an all-new Twin Cities Live.
Final recap of our breaking news this midday. This is a live look of a scene of a deadly shooting on Grotto Street North in Shoreview. We know 2 people are dead, 2 others in the hospital at this hour. The 4 people shot were all adults, and we're told they all knew each other. This view from Chopper 5 here shows you the police response in what is normally a very quiet neighborhood. Police have recovered a gun and say there is no danger to the public. We're going to have the latest on the investigation during our evening newscast and, of course, online all day at kstp.com.
Yeah, the clouds are here to stay for a while. It's not a washout of a day yet. The rain has been pretty light so far, and we'll see a few more showers tomorrow. We kind of get rid of this latest system by Friday.
Good deal. Thanks, Patrick. Thanks for joining us. Hope you have a great day. More news at kstp.com and at 4:30 this afternoon.